Over here we got tomatoes. I put in 4 different kinds this year. And this row here is, here we've got opalka on the end. And they're supposed to get fruit as large as 3 inches in diameter to 6 inches long. There's flower right here, some flowers. And as these plants get bigger, they should be giving us more flowers. The fruit grows just kind of right out of the main stem. But look here, see this thing here? This thing will never give fruit right here. This won't, so I just pluck them off. And they'll grow big, but they take energy. So you wind up with making more foliage and less fruit. I'm out here plucking these all the time. Here's another one. Okay, right there. I just, if it's small enough, I can get it with my fingernail. Otherwise, I use my pocket knife. So we've got probably nine opalkas in here, maybe 4 or 5 Italian, and then maybe 4 or 5 Amish, I think. These are those so-called cattle panels that they're 50 inches high here. They actually, when you buy them, they're 16 feet long. All of this stuff, this twine and stuff, are bits and pieces of rope. This piece right here came from when we put the hedge in, because all the hedges had burlap around them and they were bundled and tied like this, the root ball was. So I saved all the bits and pieces, and I use these to tie up the plants. No need of buying something if you don't have to. This is the other trellis that I wrote about. This is lightweight fencing material. I think if I was doing it over again, I'd probably do it all with just cattle panels, because they are so good. But this will work, and I got a lifetime supply of trellis material now. I've got beans on either side of the trellis. These are the beans my grandkids helped me plant. On the very end, the last 2 feet here is something called Good Mother Stallard. And I can't remember what all the different kinds are. I've got Hidatsa in here, and about every 4 feet I've got that given variety on each side, because I want to see what they taste like. So here you can see they're starting to put out their vines. Pretty soon they'll be clinging to this. And these guys got burnt too, their leaves got burnt. And then on the side of the trellis away from me are all potatoes. Those are all reds. And I don't know which red I got. I had 3 kinds of reds that I had left over in the root cellar from last year. And I didn't keep track of which was which. Because of course you don't need to buy seed potatoes every year. You can just take the potatoes you got left in the cellar. And the first bunch of tomatoes we looked at, those were planted pretty much just to fill up that bed. Whereas on this side, we planted different varieties on each side, and they're spaced away, and then they kind of go, they catch into the trellis here, my cattle panel trellis. Some volunteer potatoes came up because I had potatoes in here last year. So I just left them here. So now see what we got. We got these potatoes growing right here with the tomatoes. You can see there's a lot of flowers coming on these guys. Here we got cabbage. These flat Dutch here are starting to form heads too. And you can see the reds doing the same thing. They're pretty good looking cabbage plants. Here I got a lettuce going to seed. It starts to get a little bitter at this point. See, it starts looking like this. It's putting all its energy into the flower. And here I got both red and yellow onions from Set. Set is essentially what they do is they start a bunch of onion seeds close together. They let them get about this big, and then they sell them the next year. They're biennials. So here, this guy's making seeds right here. See, and I don't want them putting the energy into that. Here we got some broccoli. When they're smaller and weaker, the rabbits want them, but when they get bigger, the rabbits leave them alone. Here, right here, I got a little stake here. That's the end of the Yukons, right there. And that'll be a nice little bunch. We don't eat that off of many potatoes. But then over here we start with the other reds that I put in. And again, they're coming slow and they're kind of spotty. We put the straw in here as a kind of hilling. You always hill potatoes, like mound up some dirt around them and stuff. I think the reason for it is probably to keep a potato down far enough in the dark. Because if they turn green, they're poison. Nightshade family. It's amazing what we eat. But anyway, so that helps keep the moisture in too, because it's been a really, really dry summer for us. And we're out here watering all the time. All the water barrels, rain barrels are empty. I was running out of room for squash, so I put 4 hills of butternut squash in here. And here 3 of the hills have already got something coming up. And they're real crammed in too. They're like real close. I'll thin them out to just a few to a hill. And then here we got a volunteer potato in here. And we got a volunteer potato back here. And they're all fraternizing with the cabbage. Not counting the volunteer potatoes, we got cucumbers growing in here. Now maybe we'll make some pickles this year. We got more Russian kale than we know what to do with. We'll freeze it. And it'll last over winter too. At least if it's in the ground. There's stuff over here in the bins, I don't know. Might not make it in the winter, because the roots are up pretty high.